YouTube user Nicholas Cronin has asked me to do a video on my two iMac G3 Snows. 2 months ago. Well, better late than never.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a lovely day outside, so I better make this video quick so I can soak up some sun. Right, well, I've been asked to do, as I said before, a video on my two iMac G3 Snows. One of them is a flower power, actually. There's one snow and one flower power. They're in here. They are my pride of the G3 iMacs. They're the best G3 iMacs I have, apart from the Ruby, of course. That's the snow, and that's the flower power. I'll just haul them out. And there it is. This is possibly I'd say it's the rarest iMac I have. I don't know about other people. I've never had a Blue Dalmatian. I'd say they're rarer than this, but the flower power, especially this particular model, which is the 500 megahertz. That one, this is the first one I've seen in New Zealand. I'll put it that way. The story of how I got this is quite interesting. My old school, where I used to get a lot of my Macs, in fact, most of my Macs came from there back in, sort of 2008, 2009. That was when I first started collecting Macs. 2007 was when I first started collecting Macs. And the Macs I collected usually came from that school. It was my primary school, and I left there in 2009, and then I went to an intermediate that had no Macs, just crappy old PCs. So that's when my Mac collecting died down a bit. Then I started back up once I got to my new school, and yeah. This iMac I would say I've had it for about 2 years. I don't use them that much nowadays because of various things. For example, hooray, my freaking Core i5 iMac is fixed. I'll do another video about that because I've got a hilarious story about how I fixed it, and I'm annoyed at my local Apple shop, which I should never have listened to them. Alright, getting back onto the flower power iMac, you'll notice that it has a special design imprinted into its plastic. Apple actually imprinted this design in between the layers of plastic, which means it cannot wear off or be scratched off. It's actually in the layers of plastic. And this one is the flower power. It's flower power. It's it's a proper happy iMac. A bit like Steve Jobs was, it's even got the pink Apple logo at the back there. This iMac is interesting because it has a flower power top, but then has a solid white undercarriage, which I find funny because from this era usually they have a see-through undercarriage, and also from the front, as it's been mistaken many times before, it looks exactly like a snow iMac. Okay, my camera is not right. There we go, that's better. Well, this iMac came from a school. It had been donated by Rangiruru Girls, and the girls' school bought a lot of these. However, most of them got thrown out over the years. This one was donated to Fenelton School, my old school, after one of their iMacs blew up, and they asked if anyone had a spare one. Rangiruru said, "Yep, we have this one." The story of how I got this is I saw it in a classroom one day, and this is when they were about to be thrown out. They were in the process of throwing out most of them. I said to the techo there, I said, "Hey, I noticed you got a flower power iMac in there. I'm after some rare ones." And he goes, "Yeah, well, I'll see what I can do." And basically what happened is he donated an eMac and replaced this iMac with an eMac and gave me this iMac. I didn't pay anything for it. And it works perfectly fine. Unfortunately it is from a school, so it's not in very good condition. It's not a collector's item. It's got scratches on the top up here, which you can't see because the camera's lens is stupid. It's got scratches up here. It's a bit yellowed. But I'll show you the spec sticker of it. This is the information on the bottom of the iMac. It's one of the later ones. This one, I think it's about 2001 or 2002. But it is an iMac with 500 megahertz G3, 64 megs of RAM. You know what? I don't actually know what FP means. I've got no idea what FP means.
I now realise that FP probably stands for the colour of the computer. Flower power.
VGA,
Duh.
airport ready, and a keyboard, which will be the Pro keyboard, I'd say. This particular iMac does have, if I can get this open with my hands, which I can't, that particular iMac does actually have an airport card, which is quite cool, because it means I used to be able to wirelessly connect to the network in my house before we changed over to the newer wireless AC and anything more modern that this can't use. But well, it can connect, but it can't use the WPA2 secure network. In there is its airport card mounted to the adapter, and I don't know how much RAM. 256 megs. You probably can't see that, but that is 256 megs of RAM, which means it has definitely been upgraded over its lifetime. Here's an affordable appliance check sticker with absolutely no details on it, which is totally useful. I'll just grab a power cord because I think this has got 1039. An Apple original power cord. What a surprise! Put it on in. Yeah, I think this has 1039. It'll still have its 500 megahertz. It has a logic will swap, but it will still have its 20 gig hard drive. I'm just going to go grab the Pro keyboard. Yep, there's a Pro keyboard there. Ooh, are you going to be able to get out of there? Yes. Yes, you are. Come on. There we go. Well, here's a Pro keyboard. You know what? I just put this through the dishwasher, so I don't know if this still works. It should. It hasn't, it's been months and it's dried out, so it should be working fine. I don't actually have the original black chrome mouse. I saw one a few days ago for $5 at a shop, at a thrift shop, but I didn't get it. I probably should have. I'm just trying to downsize my collection a bit because I've got too much stuff. Well, you see an issue with my desk here. My desk has always been a bit too, it hasn't had enough depth to properly fit a G3 iMac and its keyboard and its mouse. It's currently pushing up against the back of the desk and the power cord's up against the window, which isn't very good for it, so yeah. Right, I'm going to boot this machine up. Haven't booted it up in about 6 months. Let's see if it still works. Well, we have a chime. Light on the mouse. This is actually an Apple Pro mouse, but it's the white one. It's not for this iMac. And we have a CRT display. Looking rather sorry for itself, actually. Very, very dim in this corner. That green line is to do with the camera. If I move the camera around, you'll see it sort of... No, it's something reflecting on the... there's no green line in real life. It's going down the whole machine as well. But, you'll be able to see it's quite dark in that corner, and the screen... It's a bit of an old screen. But, as I said, it was a school machine and it was used very heavily, so I'm not surprised about that. Yep, this definitely does have its original school. Now, if I remember correctly... Oh, no. Alright, it's one of the older ones. Advantage of being very friendly with the tech guys that I knew the admin passwords for all the school computers. Two of them, one's slightly newer than the other one. This has the older password. Wasn't really supposed to tell me that, and I got in trouble for knowing it once, but he said I was allowed to know it. I'm going to see if the CRT can go any brighter, because yes it can. Ah, there we go. That's much more like it. It's still a bit off in terms of how blurry it is, but it's not as dim as before. This one has a CDRW. That's about it. Yeah, it has a CDRW drive, and it still works. What's it called? That mouse seems up. That's more like it. CPU 218. iMacs iMac 3. Yep, that's about right. Yeah. Well, if I go into about this Mac. Mac OS 10 version 10.3.9, processor 500 MHz PowerPC G3, memory 256 meg SD RAM. Let's see if I can zoom in with this digital zoom on the camera that cuts out the audio every time I zoom in, so I should stop talking. You know what? That actually has worked. It's not great, but it has worked. You can read that there. 256 meg RAM. Yeah. Oh. It's running in PC 133, the RAM. We have an ATI Rage 128 Pro graphics card with 8 megs of video RAM, which is pretty hopeless, even for the time. Yep, Matt Shitter. Every time, it gets me every time. CDRW drive, which still works. And the hard drive should be the original 20 gig. Oh shizzle. The original 20 gig. Yeah, we have 11.3 gigs available, so I think it's the original 20 gig. One thing I've noticed about these Macs, just let me zoom out. One thing I've noticed about these older Macs is they still feel fast. Unlike older Windows computers, to me at least, these feel snappy and fast. In fact, some of them actually feel faster than modern machines, modern PCs. Like this one in particular, it feels just like my iMac, my i5 iMac. I guess that's because it's running a significantly, well, the operating system doesn't have to load as many features, the resources aren't hogged. And I guess when it was new, it was snappy, and 10.3.9 is a great version for G3s. ETA, and we have a, yep, it's a Seagate 20 gig hard drive. It's quite loud, but it still works. Speakers on this are probably blown, because lots of them are. But, yeah, that's the Flower Power iMac. Front panel with the dual headphone jacks. Beautiful texture, which is translucent. Ports, we have line in, line out, 2 Firewire 400s, 56k modem, a reset, an interrupt switch, 2 USB 1.1s, and a 10100 Ethernet jack. We have an aqua blue Apple logo on the top to suit the aqua blue there. I don't know if you can hear that, but this one does emit a hissing noise. So, not a hissing noise, sort of a buzzing noise. It's quite an old machine. You can see it's been opened before, not by me. I haven't opened this machine. Back there. Right. Well, let's move on to the snow. And here we have the Snow iMac. Sorry. When I was younger, when I had the Ruby iMac as my main computer, I always dreamt that one day I'd have a Snow, because they were just the boss, you know, pure white, 600 megahertz PowerPC G3, you know, possibility for an airport card, 40 gig hard drive. That was the thing to have when I was collecting these things. Yes, they were old at the time, but I never got one. Well, I got one. Which exploded in my classroom when I plugged it in, because I didn't realise that someone had poured water down the back a long time ago. The guy I got it off said it was, the tech guy said it doesn't do anything when you plug it in. When I plugged it in, it exploded, so that was fun. And my teacher said no more bringing computers into the classroom. This one I also got off the same tech guy. When I got it, he said it's in very, very poor condition in terms of how dirty it is. And he was right, it was dirty as hell. It was ridiculously dirty, in fact. However, it's in much better condition overall than the Flower Power due to the fact that it wasn't used in a school environment. This one was from a private user. That is evident when you flip the stand up. I don't know how well you can see that, but when I flip the stand up, which is quite hard to do. There we go. Can you see that? Still has the original plastic wrapping on it, which is quite cool considering it's probably now a 12 or 13 year old computer, depending on when it was made. This one, I've had the CRT flicker on me once, you know, that big, that ticking noise that tells you that it's about to die, but that was when I first got it. And it did that once, so I don't think it's a permanent problem. I think it was more to do with the fact that it had been in storage for about 3 years and hadn't turned on. But also this one doesn't emit any sort of whining noises. None at all. No whining noises, unless I haven't got it plugged in. But let's fire this one up. Yep, no whining noises, apart from the hard drive. This one, if I remember correctly, has a 600 MHz PowerPC G3 processor, a 40 gig hard drive. Oh yeah, the CRT is so much better on that one as well. It has a 40 gig hard drive. It'll have the 16 megabyte ATI Rage graphics card rather than the 8. There's another thing it has. RAM. I've got no idea how much RAM it has, but I'm pretty sure it's running 10.3 as well. It'll be either a fresh install or a relatively fresh install, because when I got it, it was a fresh install, and I've never really used it. It's got some songs in it. The speakers are decaying, but they're not blown. Yeah. Yep, that was fast. It's definitely, yep, that's a fresh install. Yep, clock battery's dead. Let's have a look. 256, same as the Snow. Sorry, the Flower Power. Okay, the CRT's not that's not right. The picture's not where it should be. I'm just gonna have to change that. It's a bit too low and some of the dock indicators aren't showing up. Display. Geometry. I remember having to do this for so long when I was younger. Just all the time I spent fixing these iMacs that had odd displays. See, this is a sign of a display that's going to go, because the amount of times I've adjusted this. However, hopefully it's just because it can't remember. But I might take it apart one day and adjust it on the inside so that the display is actually as bright and sharp as it should be. But I don't know. Yeah, speakers there. Opening up iTunes. Also, these ones have very odd CD drives. Bump the camera there. Yep, it has some Avalanche City music on it.
Girl, I say, if only life would lean our way.
Still lags on that though.
And me, we'd run away.
I think it has the 16 meg graphic chip. It should. Oh, we have, there we go. Yep, 16 meg, so there's the ATI Rage 128 Pro 2 with 16 meg, so it'll be a bit better performance. And it should have, yep, a Max Tor 40 gig hard drive. Well, let's not get sued by the copyright people, shall we? This is basically a stock install, so it has nothing really to show on it, but this certainly is a majestic machine. It's one reason I always wanted one. It's possibly the best looking iMac. Even though the iMac G3 was all about colours, I still think the refinement of the Snow iMac was just one of the best. Just a great looking machine from all angles. It just looks, I don't know why, it just looks great. Well, that's that. Flower Power and the Snow. Any more videos, feel free to ask me, because I have my Core i5 iMac back now, which I'll do a video on relatively soon. Not only do I have my Core i5 iMac back, I also have a project coming up, which I'll show you in a sneak peek at the end. Yeah. Well, I'll save it for another video, but this Core i5 iMac has a funny story, and it's a bit of a rant. Okay, YouTube. See ya.